Alright, so hello again, guys. I just finished Watamote episode 2, and I apologize for the way that the video itself was structured in the last one, in terms of my first impressions, because that was pretty bad. All you could really see was the background of my XSplit. Now I'm going to at least give you a picture to look at so you understand what kind of character we're dealing with here. And anyways, as I said for the end of episode 1, yeah, this is hitting really close to home. I have got a lot of mixed emotions watching this. My first thought is, okay, this girl really has some confidence issues. See, this time, some friend of hers from middle school, because apparently she had just the one, because this person was never mentioned before. But anyway, some friend from middle school calls her, and this person is supposed to be like a super geek that she can relate to, and yada yada yada. So here she is trying to gain some life experiences to talk with her about from high school, and it wasn't really getting very far at all. In fact, it was kind of a mess. But she kept like exaggerating in her brain what was going on. Like she was too nervous to do the pairing assignment that she was supposed to do for her class, so she ends up in the nurse's office, and then she's next to a guy who is actually kind of sick, and then she calls it sleeping with a guy in the day. Things like this. So this whole time she's like making these extravagant exaggerations of her day-to-day life and trying to make them sound like something that is worth talking about. But it ends up that when she meets this person, she doesn't use any of those things anyway. In fact, they end up just talking about anime and, manga and shit like that, because that was what they did in middle school, and there's like a tension between them because both of them are worried about expectations as high schoolers and blah 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 blah, instead of just being themselves. Well, it turns out that one of them had a lot better of a reason to be concerned than the other one, but I won't get into it. But essentially, there were some odd things outside of the overarching plot point of the episode that I would like to pick out. Like, why the fuck is she listening to a soundtrack related to Yander Boys, or whatever the fuck that word is, Yandere, I don't fucking know, on her, like, iPod rip-off thing? And speaking of rip-off things, instead of going to a ripped-off McDonald's this time, they thought it would be a wonderful idea to go to a ripped-off Starbucks. And if you can't tell by the picture there from the first episode that you should be seeing on my screen, if you're wondering, that's not like a one-time face. Her eyes look bugged out like that all the time. And I'm telling you, throughout this episode, it was really, really bad. In fact, I don't know if it was from the last episode or from this one, but there was a bit where she put glasses over her eyes to try to make them look less bugged out because she realized it herself. I mean, like, this hits seriously close to home, because if I would have had if I would have been born in a way that I didn't disagree with, let's put it that way, and if I was to have lived a similar life, this is pretty much like, if you compare it to what I'm accustomed to dealing with, this is pretty much what would have been me in high school. And it's pretty awkward to watch, because a lot of this stuff is eerily familiar. But, yeah, aside from that, she's making some wacky faces. I was seriously taken aback by a lot of this stuff. I can't even talk properly. But, oh man. If you ever want to see what social awkwardness looks like in any capacity, I recommend you watch this, because it's got it in spades. But to be honest, it's actually kind of funny in the this is uncomfortable sort of way. So I think there will be at least a few of you who will be pretty psyched about this, and I hope it gets to the point where, you guys can join me on this and give your comments and maybe share some experiences you guys have had in the comment section below about this kind of thing. I'm probably not going to do a recording of the third or fourth or any kind of episodes like that, because I'm actually going to continue to watch this until I sleep. But as I said in the first video, eventually you'll see my opinions of the ending, and you might see some things in between. But yeah. Let me scroll through some of these faces and give you a general idea what you're dealing with. That's from the first episode. She looks freaking psychotic. And I swear, she's got to have multiple personalities or something. There's a lot wrong with this girl. Alright, well, this has been Wondercat, and I hope you enjoyed this reaction video, because I'm sure enjoying watching this series.